yeah, the previous shows, I sometimes kind of screw this up. All right, so let's start this. Well, hi there, welcome. Welcome to the 10th
hello
episode of the Gutenberg Times live Q&A. My name is Birgit Polly-Haag, and I'm here, your host. And today I have three brilliant online business coaches, bloggers, podcasters, YouTube channel owners, to answer all your questions that you might have about the new blog editor and what's important in 2019. This is mostly a show for bloggers, small business owners, e-commerce site owners, and nonprofit accidental techies. I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of development questions or that we want to be answering today, but we can try it and we can put it in the queue for the next shows. I have with me today Bob Dunn from bobwp.com, Kori Ashton from Webtegrity, and Kim,
hey y'all.
and Kim Scotland, the blog genie.
Hi.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We do a proper introduction in less than a minute. I just wanted to be a little bit about the format today. Thank you all for attending the show on Zoom and on YouTube. We're using the Zoom Q&A feature that's on the bottom of the screen. And we also use the chat bubble next to it for comments on the show. If you're on YouTube, your chat window is on the right of the screen of the video. So we can test it out if you want to. Just type in where you're from and where you're from watching, so we can all kind of know a little bit who you are and where you're coming from. All right. Hi, Robert from Toronto. Are we on YouTube? I'm just going to head over there and kind of look at that, and also kind of grab our.
We are already broadcasting on YouTube, and we need 3 more subscribers for you to hit 100 right now. Look at this.
Right.
I think we can do this in this show. So if you're watching, I'm going to promote her right now and say, go over, quickly click on this link. Let's get over 100 right now in this show. How cool would that be?
That would be wonderful.
I realize I'm not subscribed, so we're at 98 now. So.
All right. Thank you. This is fun to know. Yes. All right. So, Aline Brown, hi. Kelly from Birmingham, UK. Good evening. Thank you all for joining. So, Kori, you are the CEO and co-founder of Webtegrity. You have been everywhere in my stream lately. So tell us where you live and what you do for fun and what you're working on for 2019.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the invitation to come be a part of this great conversation. I am in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm actually in my office right here at Webtegrity. And this is what I do for fun. I just told one of my team members the other day, I don't really think I work. This is my passion. This is my hobby. My brain doesn't shut off. And when I'm thinking about WordPress community. I'm thinking about how to grow our team and how to better our products with our clients. 2019 specifically, I'm working on YouTube. That's where I'm at. So I have just right around 32,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And I'm just about to hit 3 million views. Look out. And it's all inside the world of WordPress. So we have WordPress Wednesday, Monday Marketing Minute, and I'm going to be starting a whole new concept in this year 2019 for a Press Tribe, introducing that for an arena for freelancers and small agency owners to kind of get in there and talk shop, talk about how do we find clients, talk about dealing with wonky clients, business strategies on how to grow your own team. I think it's a missing voice, a missing conversation in our community. So I want to try to facilitate that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know that that's very important. We had just a meetup meeting about that where we just around the room kind of did a round robin on consultant, and there was a lot of synergy coming up there. Yeah, and awesome. I know your Wednesday, is it true that your WordPress Wednesdays has about 300 videos now?
It does. I think I'm 12 videos away from 350. So
okay. Yeah.
I use for any of you who don't know and you're trying to conquer YouTube, I use a software called TubeBuddy, and it'll get me a running total here on the app. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's my total, almost hitting my subscribers.
Okay.
So that's pretty exciting. And it says that I have 11 videos to go to hit my milestone of 350 videos. I'm trying.
All right. Well, you're awesome. You're awesome. So, Bob, another awesome guy. You're a podcaster and blogger on bobwp.com. As I said, you specialize in all things e-commerce. And tell us a little bit about yourself and what you are working on these days.
Yeah, I'm actually in Ocean Shores, Washington, which nobody knows where that is, and that's a good thing. If you want a perspective,
help us out.
Where Seattle, Washington is, and Portland, Oregon. We're right about in the middle. You go straight to the water, and before you hit the water, you'll hit us. So we're right on the coast of the Washington state. So right down by the beach. Yeah, what do I do for fun? Okay, I turn off everything WordPress by evening time. I love two things. I'm an avid reader, so I don't read any nonfiction. It's all fiction. I love mysteries, horror novels, the whole works. And then I'm a old movie buff, and we're not talking old movie 50s. We're talking the 30s and 40s. This is the stuff I love. Film noir. So I'm crazy about that. So that's what I spend my evenings doing out of the WordPress world. But 2019, God only knows. It's always a hard follow up with Kori there, but I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing right now. And with the site, I've got, I'm going to hopefully keep the 2 podcasts running. Got my little marathon thing that I might try again this year. But I never know what twists and turns it'll take. But I just, keep pushing out tons of content, basically.
Yeah.
You have one who inspires us, though. You're the one who inspires us, Bob. We watch you and we follow your cue. So keep pedaling. You're doing great.
God, pressure's on.
Well, you got my attention when you did the 48 pieces of content for 48 hours. And I was thinking, wow, this dude is crazy.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. And so I told myself after doing it, I would never do it again.
And you seem to be longing for it now.
Yeah. Yeah, never say never. So yeah, it basically, originally the idea kind of in a nutshell was, I was looking at public NPR and I was thinking, okay, they do these pledge drives. Why don't I do some kind of a pledge drive? Because my site's the whole monetization of things. Well, the pledge drive of things really kind of failed big time in that. But the other part, it was more of a challenge. And just, I thought, I'm creating 48 pieces of content and shooting them out every hour for 2 days. And that's a lot of content to put on there. And so it was all pre-prepared, except a bit of it was done during it. And I'm going to do it again. I might do a little bit different. Last year was all mixed media. So it was video, interviews, podcasts. I want to kind of, the podcasts were tough because getting people, schedule. I've got 2 running already. So additional stuff. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a little bit more focused. I have a couple ideas of probably get it out shortly, what it's going to involve, and maybe it'll be in March. But I just thought, got to try it again. It's a personal challenge, and it's a lot of content. You can just it's totally insane. Yep.
Must be easier than running a marathon, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's about afterwards you feel about the same, but it is easier. So
yeah. So is that what it takes, that you kind of put all huge amount of content out to get the attention or hold the attention of all your audience?
Yeah, I think that it's 2-pronged, because really it's something nobody else really does. So you stand out. I don't expect anybody sitting around for 48 hours anticipating the next hour. It's like, people have a life. So it's content that's going to be out there. So I can just keep pushing it out there. So it just adds to the pile of stuff I already have.
Good. Well, talking about somebody who put a lot of content out there, Kim, you are the blog genie and you provide technical help for bloggers. You also run a YouTube channel and you have a huge blog with tips and tricks. So how are you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Actually, this like the blog genie is actually kind of my hobby right now, because I actually still have a day job where I work as a web developer 3 days a week in my job. So right now I'm working on leaving the day job for the Blog Genie to be my full-time gig.
Okay, well, let's see. Well, you got my attention when you right after in August, after the call out in 4.9.8 in the Gutenberg of the Gutenberg plugin in the WordPress dashboard. Wow, a lot of words here. And you started tweeting about how awesome you think Gutenberg would be and how useful it would be for content creators. And ever since, you created content about how to best use Gutenberg. So what do you think the impact is of introducing Gutenberg for bloggers and in the blogging community, and how willing are bloggers actually to make the switch?
Well, it's funny because I actually installed the Gutenberg plugin on a whim. It was a Sunday evening and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give it a go. You know, I've got like a demo subdomain that I use. And I thought, I'll just see what it's like. And I normally go Facebook Live on a Monday morning. And so I was just playing with this Gutenberg and I thought, oh, wow, I have got to mention this on my Facebook Live tomorrow because this is awesome. Because I first saw it back in March at my local WordPress meetup. And I'll be honest, I really wasn't keen. It looked really clunky, really buggy. And I thought, not sure I like this. And then I installed it. I installed the plugin and I was just like, wow, this is brilliant. And it's funny because from that, because people had seen me using it on my demo and my screen share, a few people were like, wow, that is actually amazing. I'm going to go and install that. And I had quite a few of my community and a lot of them who admit that they're quite technophobic. They don't like doing the techie kind of stuff. They were straight in there and loving it. And yeah, so... But I don't think they would have done that had I not given them that push. And even quite recently, I've had people in my Facebook group saying, oh, I don't like this Gutenberg. I really don't like it. So I've gone and put more content out there and people have gone, oh, wow, actually, it looks really easy. But I still come across loads and loads of bloggers who are like, no, I don't like this. And I'm like, I know for a fact that you've not even tried it because I know everyone I've said who has gone and installed it and used it has literally loved it.
Well, and I just interrupt our flow here a little bit. We have 100 subscribers. Yay! Woo! Thank you, everybody.
That's huge.
So, well, it is for a very young channel.
Yes.
So, but we all have been hearing, reading, talking about Gutenberg or the new block editor. But a lot of people are not aware about these big changes in WordPress and have yet to try it. So what do you tell people when they ask you, what is Gutenberg and why?
For me, I just say it's a new way of creating your blog post. And also I say use it because it takes a lot of like the clunkiness away. Now, for me, the thing that made me go really wow was the embed blocks, especially things for like Facebook and YouTube, because, you know, with the classic editor, you had to go to YouTube, you had to click, oh, I want to embed this, you had to copy this code over, which for people who don't have a tech background is quite scary. And they're like, oh, I don't want to touch this code. But now with the embed blocks, you just find your URL, whack it in there, and the job's done.
Mm-hmm. I love your perspective on that because you're a developer, Kim.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how to custom go do this if you needed to do this, right? And so yeah. I find your perspective wonderfully refreshing because a lot of developers that I've spoken to are either no, that's, no. And we're so kind of thrown off by change. We want full control.
Yeah.
It's been a different type of conversation. So to hear you embrace it the way you have, and to not only embrace it and start using it yourself, but then to promote it gets me so excited that you're that voice of the community. As you can see in the live chat, I don't know if you're reading the live chat. Look at people loving on you right there. That to me gets me so excited that you're that voice speaking to them, encouraging them and telling them this is as powerful as the vision that it was meant to be. And it's only going to grow and get better as we go, right?
Totally.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, Bob, what do you tell people?
I tell them come on, get alive, get over it, move on. We got bigger fish to fry here. No, but
paint a pretty
seriously.
picture there, Bob. Good grief, Bob. Give it to me.
Yeah, really.
So
I don't mess around, but no, seriously,
I like
I
it.
don't really work with clients anymore.
Yeah.
But I do have people always chatting and saying, hey, they want to know, how do I think about it and stuff. So it's, I really think, Kim hit the nail on the head, and when I was doing coaching and training for like 7-8 years, that was it. It's like, and the developers, a lot of the developers they have a hard time putting their feet in the shoes of the user. And those users a lot of them are very, this is another tool. This isn't their life. This isn't their whatever. And some of them, when I talked about it a while back, because I first got into it in last February, so about a year ago, I told people, I think we're underestimating users. We're thinking they're going to think the earth is falling in. We are in the core community worried about that. I think they're a lot more resilient than we're giving them credit for. And there's a lot of people that deal with updated technology and other tools they use, the UI changes. They go, oh, you moan and groan a bit, you move, this change, but you get used to it. And I think there's a lot of users out there that, and that's why I try to tell people, hey, it's just like anything else in technology. Yeah, it's huge, but a lot of people, and I'm sure Kim's found this too, is these people aren't spending their lives in the editor. They're going in there every once in a while, updating, creating posts, whatever. So it's something that, they just need to get used to. And a lot of them, and it's good to hear, since I'm not in that space anymore doing this, it's good to hear that a lot of them are saying, wow, this is very cool. Because, we get stuck in this bubble where everybody's in the world of drama, and it's, we might as well think it's the end of the world. So, that's really good to hear. Refreshing.
Yeah, I really had to stay away from the drama too. But so, Bob, have you converted your site already? I know you were working on it, but you have a huge site. So how is that going with your conversion to Gutenberg?
It's so interesting because I did it last Sunday. So it was
very fresh.
Sunday. I really waited. I was just, I was like everybody else, because I run 48 plugins on my site.
What?
And people, everybody kind of does this weird look like,
does it wash your car for you? What the heck, Bob?
They are all, if you go to my post today and see all the plugins, I exposed all the plugins.
It also has an emergency exit, right?
Yeah. What the heck, man? This thing should clean for you. It should fold your laundry. I don't know.
Underwater music.
Help in life. I'm a very, I'm not independent. It's like, help me plugins. But no, I had to kind of step back and think of, which ones are going to be, if they, croak out on me, what am I going to be able to replace? And a lot of them are pretty, all of them are in there for a reason. They're not just hanging in there being pretty and doing fun things. They're there for a reason. So it was I had to sit back. So I put it in staging like a good person, like I would do. And I played around with it. I updated. I thought, wow, everything looks pretty sweet. And so I decided I'm going for it. And it's just been the most interesting experience working, because I'm on like a lot of people. I spend probably, several hours, sometimes the entire day in the visual editor, because I write natively in the editor.
Okay.
And that's how I've done it for 10 years. It's a bad habit to break. But, so it's been, I tell people I love a lot of little things that have changed. They all add up. They're not like significant things, but the workflow and the things I kind of moan and groan a little bit about, hey, I'll get used to, so it's been an experience to actually dive into it.
Well, Elizabeth in the chat says, well, I'm at 63, so you have a competitor there.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, there's always somebody that has more, so I can, I can take them in a minute, it's like, good for you.
Yeah, but just to make this clear, it's not a competition.
No, God, please not. Don't start adding them saying, hey, I got to beat Bob now. It's not this.
Don't do it.
Let's not even go there.
Yeah.
No, this is not what we want to be.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to hear from even the attendees if y'all would share, if y'all have converted over and are using the Gutenberg. It'd be interesting to see y'all start to chime in live chat and see if y'all run into any issues either, because I mean, for us, we've pivoted out. We've had a few clients even come to us and say, hey, I know y'all build custom themes, but how does that work with Gutenberg? Because we've been hearing about this Gutenberg thing and we really like the idea of the concept. They might have tinkered with it on an old version of their site, or maybe just a staging site that they're playing with. So they kind of understand it, but they've been asking us that. So it's been really interesting to see that dynamic and to see people using it even in, gosh, all sorts of different industries, not just bloggers, right? So we're seeing, we have high level enterprise level clients that are still embracing this, I would say, baby still in some ways product tool, it's still, obviously we're watching it like a toddler stage right now. Right. And it's growing, right? I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So you see them, kind of learning as they go. And so Bob, first of all, the fact that you have that many plugins and that you've already moved over now and you're not seeing any sort of wonkiness or, the car's not trembling or shaking, I think that's amazing. And if you could I'd love to follow you in that path and just see you stalk you online and see you blog about it or see you talk about it or hear you talk about it in your podcast to see what that adventure looks like.
Yeah. And I'm actually writing, what I'm doing is I'm already planned my next post and I'm writing it as I'm in the editor, all the little things that I'm loving and all the things that kind of irritate me a bit, but I'll get used to. And it's not necessarily the UI, it's me.
Sure.
I'm an old dog. Right. I've been in there a long time. So it's, you got to just be a little bit flexible, but yeah, I'm definitely, and I'll try not to, just go neurotic if something really goes sideways at any point.
I have my whiskey close by. My whiskey, just. Yeah.
So Kim, it seems that your conversion of your own site, how did that go? You have a lot of content as well, and probably a lot of plugins.
I have. I think I'm very choosy about plugins. Obviously. I think I only have about 20, 25 at the moment anyway. And yeah, I've pretty much been using Gutenberg since the beta plugin, and I wasn't very good. I didn't put it on a staging site. I just kind of saw that it kind of worked on my demo site and just went, jumped in 2 feet first and just rolled with it. And I haven't actually had that many issues with it at all, actually.
Good. Yeah. I find it quite amazing, how much work actually went into the backwards compatibility. So from our audience, Anne thinks it's still a little quirky for her. Elizabeth has been online with it, converted, but she doesn't use the block editor. She's only playing with it, hasn't published yet. Alex has his block editor on his own site, and then, or her site, sorry, I didn't want to assume. And Callie has been using it since last autumn. It's really awesome. So Kori, let me go back and pick up some, you said before about your working with your clients. And so do you see Gutenberg as an asset during your sales pitch to present to a client, or how would you suggest freelancers and other agencies kind of craft their conversation around the Gutenberg block editor now?
That's been a big buzz topic as well in the meetup groups and in the Slack channels. And it's, oh gosh, do we have to lower our prices now because it seems too easy to use? If we let them have that control, are they going to muddy up the design? All these concerns. I think just like Bob, I think we all just need to slow down for a minute, realize the world is not burning down around us, even as we're selling WordPress, right? So I was blessed to be a part of a growth council project with Matt and a couple of amazing people this last year. And in those conversations, I really got to hear him talk about his vision for this tool and why he like literally poured himself into this and had team members and challenged team members to pour themselves into this solution. And it really is all about just creating this community and giving the absolute best possible experience to level the playing field for everyone, which to me is what WordPress is. So as somebody who makes my living with WordPress, my parents got their retirement because of WordPress. Everything in my world is financed by WordPress, you know, because I sell this product. To me, it's time to embrace it. And we use it as a resource that only propels us forward, to challenge others to say our CMS is now even better, because we have this capability. And it's certainly not any sort of a liability as we are talking as freelancers, as we're talking to clients. I know a lot of freelancers might say, well, it's good for me because I don't really want that ongoing relationship with the client anyway. So I can just, there you go. And I teach them how to do the drag and drop stuff and they're out of my hair. You know, I think it's just the way you yourself, to Bob's point, you yourself kind of learn it. Maybe you have a little bit of a learning curve. Maybe it's a little quirky for you initially. That's fine. But as more and more blocks are introduced, as more and more resources come into the repository for us to partake in, I think we'll all start to see, oh gosh, I should have been an early adopter of this. Now this works. I like this.
Yeah, it's been really amazing, yeah, how the blog templates and the various blog plugins that are out there. So, Bob, what do you say that the blocks are for e-commerce websites? What are they used for, and how can they better be embraced in the e-commerce sites?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I write a lot about e-commerce, but I listen to a lot of smarter people than me, so I kind of absorb all that information. And to give you an example, okay, so WooCommerce, you know, it came out with its block. So you have a plugin, and you can now put in WooCommerce products and filter them a certain way into into posts and pages. And where I think it's going is that's what it's going to be. It's going to be able to expand, and e-commerce is such a, we're talking with WooCommerce online products, we take Give WP, that's fundraising. It all boils into e-commerce. What was a point where I asked, where do you think will the blocks ever take over the post type of an e-commerce, plugin? For example, like WooCommerce products. Will that become block based? Will that? And I was just interested to hear what people said. And they said, no, it's not going to happen because you still want that continuity. You gotta, for example, if you have 100 products, you want your image, your description, everything to look the same. You don't want to give people the power of, start moving around. Oh, this product, I'd like to have the price up here. And this product, people get on there and get all like their eyes go all over the place. So that's not going to work. But that power of being able to add stuff to those pages eventually, an example of that is BigCommerce. If you've heard, they recently did an integration with WordPress, so you can move over your BigCommerce store onto WordPress. Well, when you do that, when you go in and look at a product there, it actually looks like a poster or page. It's got the Gutenberg layout, and that's in your WordPress site. You can't change the title. It shows you the title and description, but you don't change that. It just shows you what that is there. And then, of course, the rest of it's laid out, but they have it where you can add additional blocks. So if you wanted to, create on the product page, add 2 or 3 videos below, or do something a little bit more creative, because maybe it isn't so much a store as single products that you're just adding to your site, then you've got that flexibility. So you can build out that product page rather than take what's originally there and start messing with the format. You can add things to it. Of course, you got to be careful there because you don't want to put so much stuff on there that people are, not looking at the product anymore. They're looking at all the other shiny objects there. So I think it's going to play in well, and I think it's already doing it. It's kind of fun to see where it's going to go. And I do a lot of reviews like Kori, just lot of reviews on e-commerce plugins and how they're all using blocks in some way or incorporating blocks. It's fun. And that's where I got a lot of my experience before I even did it with my own site, was just going through and doing a demo site and seeing Gutenberg working with all these new plugins or these new ways that plugins are doing stuff.
I think you're muted.
I am, yes. Technology trips me up.
Me too.
Computers, you know, colossal waste of time. My grandmother used to say that. So Kim, what is your what are the favorite features that you see in Gutenberg? What you like most?
So, like I said before, the embed blocks, they just do it for me. There's no, because I know I'm a developer and we're meant to like writing code, but I hate writing code in the WordPress editor. It's just
said every WordPress developer ever.
Exactly. And so, yeah, the fact that I don't have to like go back into the visual editor just to line up my YouTube video, get it in the middle, whatever, love it. I also love reusable blocks. Love them. They save me so much time. Things like having an affiliate link disclosure. I've got that in my reusable block. I just whack it in the top. And the same with having links to other content. So literally for each like different WordPress category or each category that I post to, I have a block for my top 3 most viewed posts for each category. And so I just whack that into the bottom of the blog post, whichever is most appropriate. So yeah, embeds and reusable blocks, they are like the holy grail for me. WordPress you wouldn't have to do anything else to Gutenberg now. I'm happy.
How about you, Bob?
You know, it's weird because I agree with Kim. I mean, I love those two things. And overall, there's so many things. I guess I love the full experience is what I'm finding, is that I'm getting used to adding blocks. And I mean, it's amazing how quickly one can get used, even if you've been doing something for so many years. But what's weird with me is it's the little tiny things I'm finding. And maybe it's my bizarre workflow. Like, for example, the permalink over on the side there, I have to grab that sucker a lot of times for specific reasons. And it used to be you'd have to open it and, you know, it was a pain in the whatever. And it's like, it's so right there now. And another thing that's really tiny is the link tool. When you want to do an open new window, the advanced options is so much quicker. So it's a lot of little things that have made it that I use a lot, that over time I'm just finding, wow, this is like kills the old way of doing it.
Yeah.
So there's probably a long list of those small things. I mean, there's the big things like Kim mentioned, but there's some really small things that I use a lot that just overall is just like, yeah, I think, where were you all my life? You know?
Yeah. What do you think, Kori? What's your favorite feature of Gutenberg or block editor? Do you have one?
Absolutely. But Kim, I have to say, I have to steal your idea of the affiliate block, the reusable affiliate block. It makes so much sense that we would pocket that away, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'm going to put that little nugget right there and I'm going to repurpose that. That was good stuff. I love it. You know, I think for me, one of the things that I've seen is we hold weekend workshops here every once in a while. So for those clients that come to me and say, Kori, I don't have $10,000 for you to build a custom site for me. And I don't even have $2,000 for you to build anything for me. My budget's $500. So we do a weekend workshop or we go even to the meetup groups, right? And we teach for free, whatever that looks like. I have students of all ages that will sit down with me. Around a year, maybe 2 years ago or so, I had this one. I mean, I've taught everywhere between a 6-year-old how to blog, and I had a 82-year-old woman who volunteered at her Catholic church who wanted to come in and learn how to add blog posts to their Catholic church website. It's awesome. So kind of a wide spectrum, right? I've had entrepreneurs, I've had DIYers, I've had freelancers trying to get started. Anyway, to Bob's point, it's the little things. I had about a year ago, I would think or so, I had a guy who was, oh man, he was such a visual person. So here he is, and he's in that visual mode of the classic editor, right? And which looks like a Word doc, right? And he's clicking around and he's trying to drag a picture to where it should be on the page, you know, and he's trying to size it bigger, and he's really having a frustration, kind of a meltdown, if you will, in the middle of this class. And he clicks preview to go to the front side and see what it looks like. And he has this epiphany moment where he looks at the screen, he goes, why can't I just drag it right here? They should put everything around it like this, where I can just see it all right here. And let me just drag and drop and move it the way it's supposed to be. He was prophetic or something. So here we now live in this world where that's possible. And even more so, we can see that even more so tangible in a very near future, right? As this grows and becomes even a more robust, powerful tool. So for me, you know, I love little nuggets like what Kim shared. To Bob's point, the little tiny nuances are exciting, but more so, even more so for me, it's the usability now. I don't have to teach somebody code anymore, really, for them to have a great looking website. They don't have to be intimidated with that click over to the text mode to go embed that YouTube video, right? The moment they saw an open caret, you know, an open bracket and href, I don't know what happened. You know, don't ask me to copy and paste even code, right? They're just, and I don't blame them, but we tried in the past, and even to this day, it still needs to be our mantra. WordPress is for the community. WordPress is for the masses. It is for everyone. And truly with this move toward Gutenberg, it now is. It levels the playing field. It allows us to just teach it to that 6-year-old and let her go be an awesome blogger. Right out of the gate, the moment I told her what affiliate marketing was, I saw the dollar signs roll in her eyes like a cartoon. You know, she looks up at her mom. She goes, I'm going to be a blogger and I'm going to make some money. And I was like, she got it. It's possible. And it really has become that possible now. I don't feel like my $10,000 websites can't be sold. That's certainly not my position. Or my $60,000 WordPress websites can't be sold. I can sell those all day long and still have this amazing tool live inside of it. And, you know, before we even started, you guys were talking about the fact that why are we even calling it still a kind of a separate entity? This whole Gutenberg type of, you know, to me, it's WordPress. It's the future of WordPress. It is what, you know, that's WordPress. That's the beauty of WordPress. Yeah.
The future is here now.
Yeah. Can I just say that, I mean, this is the thing that, like, this is what I love about WordPress is WordPress has made, like, you know, websites and tech kind of accessible to the masses. And then Gutenberg, the new block editor, has kind of taken it, you know, one step further. And it's just amazing. That's why I love WordPress so much.
Yeah, I did 10 years ago. I implemented WordPress for nonprofits, and we migrated in a summer about 40 nonprofits from a hideous content management system, proprietary, over to WordPress. And the most I was impressed of was that the techies would go away, and the newsletter editors, the membership chairs, the communicators, the presidents would come in and say, "Well, we can do it all by ourselves. We don't need those techies anymore." And of course, since then, WordPress got a little bit more complicated, and I got a little bit more magic meat with it, or mystery meat as it's called. And then that's why I jumped on this Gutenberg so early, because I saw the lights and the bright eyes from those nonprofits again, when they really love to produce content. I wanted to bring it back a little bit to the affiliate, because it's not only your own affiliate link that you can propagate through every page on the reusable block. Reusable blocks are actually, you can import and export them. So if you are an affiliate, a company who has affiliates, you can actually provide those Gutenberg blocks, including your images and everything, as an importable, reusable block.
Well, now you're just showing off. Now you're just making it
totally.
What is that?
Yeah, right.
Love it. It's a great idea.
Also for book authors, yeah. If they have a book and somebody wants to kind of get them back to your website, give them a reusable block and put it all over the website.
Oh man, shut the front door is right. Listen to that on our chat. I love it.
Now I'm gonna go and my email is gonna have like 50 reusable blocks. Bob.
Yes.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. So so there are I don't know 26 core blocks in the block editor with about I don't know 50 embeddable blocks. But still, some things are not yet available. So what plugins are you going to? What block suites have you tried out? What have you found in the universe? What did you even go out? Yeah, that's kind of so.
I've leaned, still heavily. Obviously, our team doing custom themes, we still rely heavily on advanced custom fields. That's really where we live a lot because we did even pre Gutenberg days. We still wanted to give that sense of ease. Right. To the admins that we were handing these websites to, right? So we really wanted that fill in the blank type of relationship where they didn't have to know code and they weren't making the website look wonky with their weird fonts and their weird colors. And so we were still trying to give them some sense of control without the code. So that's really where we still rely heavily. Obviously, forms, Gravity Forms is still my go-to plugin for any sort of advanced forms. I've been loving Happy Forms because they're free. Free is always in the budget, right?
Are you using any? Are you using any plugins that actually add blocks to your website?
I haven't yet. I had 2 clients talk to me about that last week, actually, trying to come up with some solutions for some ideas. So I think I'm hot on their heels. Just as Bob just converted last Sunday, I think you're catching all of us kind of in that. Other than Kim and her early adopting, way to go. I think you're catching us all at that moment of it's time. We're ready now. For me, we host 230 or so websites that are our clients. And so there are at least a dozen or more that have already said, hey, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and start implementing that. So that's kind of where we are in that new stage. We'll have to circle back maybe in a few months and I'll have more conversation on that.
Right. Yeah. All right. Have you gotten any blocks, Kim, that you block plugins that you use?
I haven't actually. I've for the moment, Gutenberg kind of
does it all
for me. I mean, I've got the WooCommerce specific blocks, and that's pretty much it. Although it is something that I do intend to go and look into in the coming months. So it's on my agenda, definitely.
Yeah, I've seen a few blocks that actually have a testimonial block and a price list and a feature set and a nested blocks, beyond the column blocks. But they're all kind of waiting a little bit in waiting for the Gutenberg phase 2 to make a start and kind of make some inroads to standardize all of this, because some of the things are actually still in the works, and that's why Gutenberg, the name will still be around, because now the second phase is page building. Yeah. How about you, Bob? Did I ask you about the block plugins that you, if you looked into those? Yeah.
Of course, I've seen. I can't off the top of my head different plugins I've been diving into that I'm not using personally.
Because you have so many. You have some long list.
Actually, I cheated. I went and looked at my site now because I thought, okay, I have 48 plugins here. How many blocks? The only blocks that any plugin has brought into my site that I'm using is Yoast and Jetpack. So which is pretty standard, which a lot of people are probably seeing. So there hasn't been a lot that have come my way yet. And just as a disclaimer to my 48 plugins, a lot of those are extensions.
We're judging you. We are judging you.
I'm gonna. Actually, that's kind of one of my low numbers. When I was running WooCommerce, and trust me, this is, I don't mean to get off on this tangent here, but I'm going to stand up for plugins. I don't recommend anybody doing this. This is crazy Bob here.
There's the fine print. Thank you.
Yeah. So I've tested so many plugins over time that I've just, it's true. I look at every plugin and I think, can I get rid of this at some point? And I think, no. And that when you start monetizing your site as heavily as I do, I don't have client services anymore. I don't sell products. My site is entirely monetized. So I've got it through affiliates. I have to manage a lot of this stuff and, and things that have just made my life easier. But it is, and I'm sure, I'm waiting for some blocks to pop in with some updates because they got to be happening here soon.
Right.
I'm sure. So, but it's fun to just to get into some of the demos and play around with it. And I'm sure Kim and Kori have both done it. You're in there and you're thinking, especially if you're running some of it on a demo site where you do have Gutenberg installed, there's some interesting stuff popping in there.
Yeah. So you heard it here first. Bob WP is now Mr. 48.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
48 content.
Until I have as many plugins as I've lived as many years, and you'll start to worry about it. Until then, I'm 48.
48 content in 48 hours with 48 plugins. Yes.
Oh no. Awesome. I think my AskKori.com has 14 active plugins right now. The last time I counted, I try to launch any of our client sites. We try to launch with fewer than 6. And then normally on my YouTube channel, I tell them tell my audience best practice fewer than 12. So Bob, you're killing me, Bob. What are we doing?
Yeah, I was converting a site from 36 plugins, going Gutenberg, and then reducing it to 14. So I was really happy to kind of get rid of 20 plugins, and Gutenberg was really saving a lot of it now. But all right, so we're coming up. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, to Bob's point, I think it would be really cool to have, if we did have so many plugins running, wouldn't it be a cool feature to have in that dashboard where we see active plugins, right? In that screen where they list them down, wouldn't it be cool to say when it was installed, a date, and by what user it was installed? And I know you can do activity trackers, but I think in that one screen right there would be a really cool extra component for them to just add by default inside of WordPress when it was activated, maybe what other plugins it might be associated with. Right. I don't know. When my clients go in and install rogue plugins, I'm like, who put this in here? Why is this website running 48 plugins? Bob. Got it.
Well, and it also needed one additional metric there. I like that idea, Kori. One additional metric would be, okay, how many pages actually triggering that plugin?
Yes,
and if it's only one every 50 days, you don't need it, right?
Because how do you remember? Bob is probably organized enough, and you'll have to speak to this, Bob, but how do you remember what those plugins are affecting?
Yeah, it's pretty, it takes me a lot to install plugin. It's like I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, do I really need this? And there's a lot of plugins. One, two, the minute it's like, okay, this is minimal, it's out of there. I don't let them linger or anything. So and like I said, a lot of them are, some of the plugins I have, and especially in that monetizing part, sometimes I'm adding 4 extensions, add-on plugins to that particular one, because it's pulling in certain things, metrics or something that I really need. Yep. So it's, and there's just a couple plugins, and whenever I do a plugin, I go and run tests on it and I see, is it starting to slow things down? And I've dropped plugins because my, certain things loading will suddenly, it's like, bam. And I'm like, bye-bye, you're out of here. You're not, and sometimes I need to find a replacement, other times not, but it's, it's the life I lead, so I don't talk about it a lot because it really makes people nervous or extremely upset. And it's kind of like one of those subjects you don't bring up a lot. I try to.
Well,
t-shirt to wear at WordCamp US, Bob. I want you to walk in and say, my site runs 48 plugins.
Yeah, I'm going to do a actual talk on it just for people can come in and heckle me, you know.
Well, Alina is heckling you right now. Bob, living the WP Rogue life here. What a fun show. Oh, but we all have to come, all good things have to come to an end sooner or later. So we're coming up to the time, we're coming up on 50 minutes, and I think we need to wrap it up a bit. It has been really great fun, and all this energy from all three of you. Thank you so much for being on the show and being part of this Gutenberg Live show. But we have one question that we got from the audience. Anne from Naples has a question for Bob. How is your site with all those plugins? You wanted to, and I think I remember you wanted to ask about, talk about the speed, pre and post Gutenberg kind of thing. So
yeah, actually it was on my, I would probably have to go. Nothing changed when I updated to Gutenberg, except the site speed went improved like I think 0.2 of a second, which site speed goes up and down so much anyway, sometimes when I'm changing. So I was pretty impressed that nothing went the wrong direction. Yeah. And I was really curious because I thought I've got to give this a try here and see, because it's like you hear people talking, what's it going to do? Is it going to add all these layers on? And I thought, nah, it can't be. It's not going to do that. And so that's why I had to do a screenshot. I had to do a screenshot of that and all my plugins listed where people could, and I haven't, hopefully I won't get a bunch of comments on that post now about the plugin, but which has nothing to do with it. But, now. Yeah, but it was, it didn't affect it really at all. So I'd say it, across the table, it was like I was impressed, because I didn't know. I had no idea what was going to happen.
Good. Yeah. All right. So I think coming to an end is where can people connect with you online, and what else? What's the closing remark that you want to give us on the road, or get our listeners to on the road and kind of what they're thinking? Do you want to start, Kori?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me on, inviting me to be a part of this great conversation. I want to challenge people again, if you're here and you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, that link is here. Please do that. It's in the chat. Go subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm excited for you. If you want to catch me on YouTube, you can find me there for Kori Ashton. There's my Twitter handle down below here. AskKori.com is another place you can come be a part of the community. So thank you again. And thank you for all you're doing to be just an awesome evangelist to Gutenberg.
Well, thank you. Bob?
Well, and of course, thank you for being on, or actually having me on, not you being on. Such a great you being on too, because without you, we wouldn't be here. But no, people can find me it's like my business card says. My business card, all it says on there is just Google Bob WP. So you'll find me Bob WP everywhere. And final words, I say, just do it. Check out my post, ignore the 48 plugins, ignore that part of it. I'm going to put a disclaimer in there. Kori says, don't look at this part, but you'll see the site speed, and I'd say just go for it. So really appreciate having been with this wonderful group.
Kim?
Thank you so much for inviting me. I literally can't tell you just how excited I was to be invited. So excited. You can find me pretty much anywhere at the Blog Genie. I just want to say, for anyone out there who hasn't given Gutenberg a chance yet, I promise, and I have 100% record, everyone who I've sent to use Gutenberg has loved it. So definitely give it a go. You don't know what you're missing.
All right. And you heard it here first. Don't wait. Procrastinate now. So thank you for all the viewers and listeners for your great questions. And if you have more questions, you can always send them to Polly at gutenbergtimes.com. The recording is available in a few minutes on YouTube channel, and we'll publish the transcript and the audio of the podcast later this month. Only a week to go, right? Yes, I keep saying this, but be patient. So the next Gutenberg Live Q&A will be on February 8th, 2019, with Sarah James, Sarah Semark, and Mark Urain from the design team. And we will talk about Gutenberg Phase 2. And Sarah James and Sarah Semark, they have been doing a lot of research about page building and layout building. So they will come on the show and tell us about it. This show is sponsored by Polysystems and our generous patrons on Patreon. And you'll find, if you find our work valuable, you can become a patron too. The link is in the descriptions soon of the channel. Thanks again, Kim, Kori, Bob. This has been a fun show, and y'all stay warm. And
Fun.
Goodbye and good luck.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you so much.